Hi, Tilty Carlson here. When it comes to Clint Eastwood, who's the first character that comes to mind that he played? Probably Dirty Harry. But second place would probably be The Man with No Name, the character that he portrayed in 3 films directed by Italian director Sergio Leone, which have since come to be renowned as classics. These have gotten a ton of releases over the years on various home video formats. We got a 4K release of the movies from Kino Lorber here in the United States, but that's actually not what we're looking at today. Arrow Video over in England has actually put out new reissues of the films featuring HDR, which the Kino Lorber releases lacked. So today, we're looking at the first of the 3, that being A Fistful of Dollars. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. Great cover art there of Clint with his poncho. There's the spine text, back cover, and there is reversible art, which I will reverse now. Here's the reversed art. This is actually similar to the art that's on the slipcover of the Kino release, although a more reddish tone. Otherwise, the art outside is pretty much the same. We get an insert here for Arrow Video, and then an ad for John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. Admittedly not familiar with that film. We get the film on a region-free 4K Ultra High-Def disc, which also includes a gallery of trailers and TV spots and radio spots. And then we get a Blu-ray disc of bonus features. Fair warning, the Blu-ray disc is Region B locked, but I do have a Panasonic 820 player, so why don't we try that out and see if we can get the bonus features to play using the top menu trick. So as you saw, I was able to get the menu screen to come up, but the menu options wouldn't come up, so the bonus features are unfortunately unplayable in the Panasonic 820 with the top menu trick. It wasn't really the first film of its kind, but the spaghetti western was never the same again after Sergio Leone's groundbreaking A Fistful of Dollars, starring Clint Eastwood in the classic role that made him an international icon. A nameless stranger rides into the Mexican border town of San Miguel and quickly finds himself in the middle of a bloody battle for power between 2 rival families, the Baxters and the Rojos. Candidly realizing there's money to be made from playing each side against the other, the man with no name soon finds himself caught in the crossfire as the body count escalates. His only chance of escape, a standoff against the Rojos' mercilessly cruel leader, Ramon. Leone's clever and contemporary version of Western archetypes was not only the first entry in a much-beloved trilogy, but the director's first collaboration with the brilliant composer Ennio Morricone. Now fully uncut and freshly restored in glorious 4K with an arsenal of new and old bonus material, The Man with No Name rides again like never before. Now, one thing I do want to clarify, although these movies are a trilogy, A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, they are not films that take place in the same universe necessarily. Each of the 3 films is completely standalone and independent. In fact, you have the same actors playing different characters in each of the films. So you can watch these movies in any order, however you like. They're completely independent of one another. A Fistful of Dollars, or simply Fistful of Dollars, as it's called on the American title screen, was the first of these spaghetti westerns, and it was made by essentially adapting the Akira Kurosawa film Yojimbo to the Old West. There were lawsuits that ensued because of this, but I won't get into that. That can be a story for another day. Clint Eastwood stars here as the man with no name who wanders into this town, trying to find a way to earn a living, make his fortune, and, of course, make the bad guys suffer in the process. And it's not long before he has 2 sides playing against one another, him taking both sides, doing what's necessary to essentially let them destroy one another. And in the interim, of course, he makes plenty of money from both sides. When he gets to town, his only friend is the innkeeper and restaurateur, as well as the casket maker, who seems to be more interested in taking his measurements for his inevitable casket he will one day reside in. And the actors portraying both the Rojos and the Baxters all do a great job here. Pretty much everyone in this movie is completely detestable and unlikable, but it actually works to the film's advantage, just showing San Miguel being this completely desolate border town that isn't a place I think anyone would want a vacation to. You see people in peril, you see how everyone has just suffered as a result of what's going on. whenever the Baxters and Rojos want to talk peace, it's mainly just to look good to outsiders. The battle between these two is inevitable, and Clint Eastwood is his usual charismatic self, beautifully showing off what would eventually make him an international movie star, this being one of the first major roles that would really catapult him forward. Prior to this, he'd primarily just been known for a few B-movie parts and TV westerns, but he was a bona fide movie star by the time this one eventually hit the United States. As these were Italian productions, or spaghetti westerns as they dubbed them because they were financed by Italian companies, a lot of the dialogue had to be redubbed in post-production, so you'll see a lot of the lip movements not really matching the mouths, but that's just part of spaghetti westerns and how things were made back then. It is a well-made, gritty film with a hero that certainly falls more into shades of gray than the generic white and black characters you had in a lot of American westerns leading up to this point. It's a movie that changed Western filmmaking forever, and it wasn't even the last of Sergio Leone's westerns. So how does this Arrow Video import 4K of A Fistful of Dollars look? I have to say, overall, I did find this to be superior to the Kino Lorber release. It's a little darker, but you do have the application of HDR, which really works wonders for the picture. By comparison, I think the Kino tends to look a little softer. The flesh tones tend to look a little more reddish on that release. But the Kino is still a fine-looking disc. My recommendation, at least in terms of picture quality and all that, is just get whatever release is available in your region. If you live in the United States, just get the Kino. It's a perfectly fine release. I do think the Arrow is the better looking release, but again, if you live in America, you don't really have a way of playing those bonus features on that additional disc, even if you have a Panasonic 820. And there are plenty of bonus features here. We do have a lot of the older bonus features, including the made-for-TV prologue that was made for the initial television release of the film because they thought Eastwood's actions in the movie were unjustified, and they wanted to try to throw in a bookending sequence to make it seem a little more appropriate. And we do have a lot of other assorted featurettes, many of which come from older releases of the film, but there's even a few newly recorded featurettes for this Arrow release too, so there's certainly no slouch when it comes to putting together these packages. I just wish I could actually watch the stuff in my player. However, I do have a Blu-ray player device for my computer, and that's actually what I use to get screen caps of movies, so I was able to watch a few of those using that, and there is some cool stuff here that's certainly not to be overlooked. So I can easily give this release a very high recommendation. It's easily the best looking release of the film to date. The only problem I had, again, is because the disc is region B locked and the top menu trick on my Panasonic 820 didn't work. I didn't have any way of playing the bonus features aside from on my computer. But that shouldn't stand in the way of this being the best looking release of the film. Again, I would recommend just getting whatever release of the film is available in your region. But if you do want to import this release, I can easily give it a recommendation on the basis of the improved picture quality and the application of HDR, which the domestic release lacks. How about you? Are you a fan of Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns? What do you think is the best of the trilogy he made with Clint Eastwood? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Timothy Carlson. I'll see you next time.